All right, viewers and subscribers, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining us in another one here on the coach's desk. We appreciate you being here, my people. And in this episode, we'll be talking about Yohan Blake. Before we get into the details, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. The question I want to ask: has Yohan Blake gotten that amount of respect that he should get as a world champion, as one of the second fastest man in history? Only man to be ahead of him is Usain Saint Leo Bolt. Has he gotten that respect that he should be getting? Well, he will be honored this Monday at the National Heroes service or celebration, where he'll be conquered with Order of Distinction, in the field of sport. But let us look at some of the things that has been said about Yohan Blake, and a matter of fact, what he has been doing throughout the years. One of the things that we will be looking at is the fact that Yohan Blake has had several, philanthropy work that he does right across Jamaica. And if we were to look at it, he has the Why Be Afraid Foundation, which he does a whole lot of work that persons tend to not talk about. You understand? But he is one of those sprinting legends in Jamaica. It goes without showing. Yohan Blake is one of the sprinting legends. And he has a sprinting legacy, which no one can take away from him. He has accomplished things in track and field that has been documented, and not only documented, well documented. So Yohan Blake is really one of those top athletes. In recent times, though, he has, put together is Why Be Afraid Foundation, which I spoke about. He has brought the most emotion to his voice and often tears to his eyes because of the work that he has done through that foundation. He will be awarded the Order of Distinction, like I said earlier, with Commander Class on National Heroes Day, which is tomorrow, in recognition not only for his achievements on the track, but also for his deep humanitarian commitment to Jamaica's most vulnerable. And I bet you several people did not know that, Yohan Blake has been doing stuff like this. Yohan Blake come from a poverty background. He is from St. James. He moved over to St. Jago, where he started to do track and field. He knows what it is like to go to bed hungry, or to sleep deprived because of there's no bed to actually put his head to rest, or to live in place not fit for even animals. So he would have been there before, and that's why he actually made the effort and his mission, to change the lives of children in similar situation, and that is commendable. His foundation has, formally adopted several children's home, included Mount Olivet Boys Home in Manchester, the Pringle Home in St. Mary, and the Garland Hall Memorial Children's Home in Anchovy, St. James. And, these homes cater to over 50 children, and he plans to adopt an additional 4 homes. So that is very commendable from the standpoint of Yohan Blake. It is very emotional for him, he said. And some of these children, he explained that, they don't have anything. Some of them are seeing even street light for the first time. Some experience domestic violence. Some have been raped, very much abused even throughout the COVID pandemic, raped at home, these are situations that the public don't see or don't know. And that's what he has been dealing with, and some of these kids have been dealing with, and he's trying to ensure that he actually help these kids. He said the goal is to create a space where they can learn a skill, travel, build a future. Partnering with one of his big sponsored, Richard Milley, just to get them hands on with a career, so to speak. So he's doing a lot in this humanitarian philanthropy department, and sometimes things like these go unnoticed because it's not out there in the public. But I'm just here to let us know that Yohan Blake has been doing this stuff. The foundation also partners with Food for the Poor to build, like 10 homes every year, providing safe, dignified housing to families in need. So he has been doing pretty well. And it is significant that these things have been highlighted. Now his career um is a story of greatness and grit. In 2011, he became the world champion over 100 meters. A year later, he set personal best of 9.69, second fastest time in history. 19.26, another second fastest time in history. Only Usain Bolt is ahead of him. Um, so it is significant. But I know in 2013, 2014, injuries pretty much nearly ended his career. He recovered from the injuries 2013, enough to help Jamaica break the 4x2 world record at the World Relays, recording 19 seconds flat, one of the fastest times on a 200-meter leg. There was more pain in 2014 at the Diamond League in Glasgow. Well, that is when disaster struck. He said he was feeling good, went to Glasgow. It was really cold. Training went well. And I was ready for the race. Yeah. Halfway in the race, he said he feel like, his muscle freeze and pop. He had to stop himself in the race, threw himself on the back because if, he didn't stop, it could have been worse. He felt the muscle hanging inside his body, and that is crazy. You get what I say? He did surgery in Germany, you know, um, and that has been very tough for him to, return to that form. He came back and he could not find himself running fast, and his coach Mills at the time said to him, to be honest, if you're going to keep on doing this, it's better you stop. And that he said, referring to his coach, Glenn Mills, he went away into the hills for like 2 weeks and he cried. So the man pretty much got a bubble ill, is the man say, by himself. He said he felt alone. Um, he relied on his closest friends who reminded him of who he was, the second fastest man at the time on the planet. Just these things kind of motivated him. Um, he pretty much said he was not going to talk to a psychiatrist. They don't know what he was feeling. Um, it was just so much for him at the time. You understand? And he had to face that. He said life after races in 2019. Some fans saw it as controversial, especially after he commented that his career had been overshadowed by a Bolt. He said that the comment was misunderstood, and it resulted in a strained relationship with his longtime training partner. So Iman Usain Bolt kind of have a little strain there. You think Iman coach Glenn Mills good? I wouldn't say he pretty much said him never leaving on uncomfortable terms. You know, he managed to overcome that because he shaped me into the world looks up to him. So that pretty much was a good thing that him and Glenn Mills would have left on good terms. Um, the sad part about it is that him and Usain Bolt not really good according to him. you know. And for them to be training for so long and then, you know, it reached that point, it is devastating. You understand? But he is doing well for himself. He's doing a great thing. And I know we wish him all the best going forward. Johan Blake is really a fighter. He has done a lot for the sport. And it's good to, you know that he pushed himself even in the midst of adversity, even in the midst of um wanting to give up. He still pushed on. Yeah? And you can say it is a good look that him continue, on this journey. And pretty much I wish him all the best, Wish him all the best as he push forward into his national honor, you know, um, into business, because he's into business, that's his life after track and field. Several business interests where he has restaurants locally and internationally. He has that recovery center. So he's doing pretty well. He's doing pretty well, and it's good to know that he continues to pave the way and do what he's doing to reach some of these destitute young persons. So I just wish Johan Blake all the best, and it's good that they are actually rewarding him for such a good career. He believes that the recognition is long overdue, but it is welcome. Um, he said he built a home in Mandeville and he didn't want anything from the government out of love and passion for kids and their suffering. That's what he did, and that was overlooked because what? He didn't call the government in to cut a ribbon. So the government pretty much hold him because of that. But I mean, it is happening now, so we have to give thanks for that. And big up to Johan Blake, for such a good job that he has been doing in terms of helping the youths. And four more is on the way. That is a good look. So all the best. Until next time, people, you can share your thoughts in this one. Peace.